All right, welcome everyone. So this has been an interesting few months. Well, we had a little bit of file loss or save loss, and then I had some file loss after doing some computer changes. I did a little bit of an upgrade, and that messed up some files. I think I can restore some of them, but I'm not sure. I've been working on that, and also been busy. Had some surgeries, and then I was like, oh well, I'll jump back in and play, and then automation was about to come out, so I've been waiting for that. So here we are back in Pertam. Um, New save, obviously, like I kind of been saying. Um, this is a Pertam default system, so it's default Pertam right here. This guy. And the planet in the back is a modded planet, or Lunda. Otherwise, a little bit of darker sky and a different skybox. And this is very similar to other situations. Let me up out of the seat here. There's Orlunda right there, and then sun's going down. So very similar to most Pertam games. I don't know actually where the start is. I think it's somewhere over that way because there's an asteroid that spawns over there. Now I did a few small things. Real quick, I'm just going to move the sun so that we can see what I did here. So a little early ago, I was trying to record, and apparently it wasn't recording. I don't know why. I thought it was. It is now. I'm for sure about that, yeah. So recording 2, 34, 35, 36. Good. So I gave myself a little bit of a skipping the first 3 hours of the game, or 4 hours or so. I gave myself a cargo container, connector. I moved the survival kit onto a piece of land. Oh, that's dead. Interesting. Okay, now it's alive. Okay, not much charge. Let's just fix that real quick. Turn off the ore detector. And turn off the H2O2 generator. And there we go. Okay. So the whole point of this is that in the beginning of the game, you land with a pod, and then you start, mining with your hand drill for hours and hours until you get enough resources to build a little platform with this stuff anyway. And then you build that, and that's maybe 4 hours in the beginning of the game. I was just gathering stone in the ground. So what I did instead was I said I'd skip that part because I've done that, a dozen times or so on streams, on recordings. And then I also built the tiniest little mining skiff, calling it the Hummingbird, that I could find. So the idea here is that this thing is extremely tiny, especially with the saddle there. And this guy is specifically to basically skip the first, maybe 6 hours of the beginning of every game, just because I really have gone through it enough. I don't want to waste more time doing that. So yeah, instead we're doing this, which is basically starting from scratch, just a little scratch plus, Let's see. Why is that? Oh, okay. It's not showing up because it is tan. Because if you see the bar has a little bit of tan there. Yeah. I didn't see it because it was behind all the gray. Let's see if we can fill that up. There we go, orange and red. This thing can barely fly, and doesn't... Ooh, that's my smart keys. This thing can barely fly, but it's enough to get a little bit of resources. I'm being very careful with it. I'm going to turn that on auto. So did I get enough resources for everything? I didn't. Okay. So I started to build a basic refinery and assembler parts. So we're going to put this solar panel in here, for example. We're going to hit shift and middle click. Yep. And then we're going to do that twice. So we're going to build 2 solar panels, I think, extra solar panels. Oh, let's move the sun back where it was. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. It is now dark. Let's turn on the light. Radius, intensity. Intensity doesn't change anything, so we'll just keep it that. So I have a few small mods added, like normal. They're basically the same as all my other series. Increased light range from extended settings and some other stuff. More hit points on the character. Some basic stuff like that. Now, there's not a lot of power on this, so we might run into some issues. But this, let's just do the O2H2 generator. This circle is one thing I did add, just to kind of give myself a, like, an on stream or screen or however you want to call it, idea of kind of what we're doing. This is going to be a pit, not any pit. This is going to be a shipyard. This is going to be our vertical shipyard. We are in this setting, or in this game, in this save, we are going to build vertical ships almost exclusively. And what I mean by that is the Expanse style, where every level is in a tower. Like the outside might look like it's coasting along flat, but like a sea sailing ship, but in space it's going to look like, or when you're in the ship, you know, it's going to be going vertical, so you can like just stand on the deck and walk around while the ship's boosting. And we're going to have that as an option. And then what we're also going to do is we're also going to put a gravity generator in it, just because it's a little easier than floating off into space every time we stop or whatever. But not that that's necessarily going to happen. The big reason is because there are very little asteroids. I put low asteroid density, so we're not going to find very many, and we're not going to find the resources we need necessarily. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go to Orlunda. Orlunda has the big reason that I included that planet. Not only was it another place to go other than just stay on planet all the time, but it is a lot of ice, and it has uranium and platinum. So we can actually go to that planet to go get that. Now, that is actually about 3.3 kilometers away, or 3,000 kilometers or whatever, 3.3 thousand. So it's quite a good distance from us. I'm going to turn off the dampeners just to make sure it's not firing while we're in here. So the idea is that, like, if we want to get platinum uranium, we might be able to find some asteroids, but we're going to have to fly there. And while we're flying, we might, you know, build a ship, or, you know, have a vertical ship where we do some stuff on the interior or something. It really depends. So that's kind of the plan / idea. This is, again, going to be the shipyard. We're going to dig this down. This whole big circle is going to be a big project. So the problem is, every time I start, I'm always like, oh yeah, I want to do vertical ships. And then I don't do vertical ships because it's just more difficult. And I have to, like, start things and, anyway, excuses. The idea is that we're going to dig here, and then we're going to build our, vertical ships. So this is going to go down maybe 200 or 300 blocks. We do have block limits on and stuff, so there's not going to be a lot of stuff depending on what we're doing. So actually, we're going to do some wind turbines, because we really need to do wind power, because solar power is obviously not going to work for us. Let's see. Okay. Oh, can we build everything for? Oh, wait a minute. Am I putting... Okay, well, let's put that there. Build planet is empty. Oh, okay, so I've just been putting more and more of that stuff in there. Great, okay. Build planet. There we go. 3 wind turbines worth. Alright, now we gotta get stone. We really gotta badly get stone. Let's go ahead and dampeners, battery, And there we go. We don't have a lot of flying time on this, and we just have a survival kit, so I'm going to turn on my light. That's my helmet light, so it's not really going to help us very much, but... So everything we drill down here in this stone pit, the better, basically. Because that's exactly what we need. There's just a lot of stone right now. We also need to dig it out if we're ever going to build this shipyard. Which is exactly the plan, again. So, gonna try to take it easy. Don't want to destroy the hummingbird. I also haven't blueprinted it, so it would suck if I destroyed it. Okay, let's see. We're doing a bunch of ingots. Let's try to figure out power generation first. Yeah. Okay. So, don't have a lot of ingots. We need a lot of more iron. Yeah, so we need a bunch more iron. And then we'll have enough to make some of that. Nickel, silicon, iron. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we need what? Another... Yeah, okay. Stone. Let's see. So we're going to put... Inventory. Cargo. It's cargo. That's what it is. Not escargot. Cargo. There we go. All right, we're going to disconnect again. It's going to turn off again. Ooh, turn on my dampeners. Don't forget that. That would be bad. What is... Oh, okay. That's just the circle. I'm probably going to jump back in creative and destroy that once I get kind of going. But I want to make sure I've dug it and like have kind of the place planned out. Again, the whole point is just that I want to make sure that I'm kind of setting myself up for future thoughts and ideas and kind of giving the idea on the recording as well of what we're going to do. This whole hexagon thing is like, I don't know, like 50 blocks wide or something. It's pretty big. So we're going to try to get as much iron as we can. While that's processing, we just kind of think about this a little bit. So yeah, so we're going to have a bunch of vertical ships. I have a bunch of design concept art that we can test with. This is going to be straight down, and then it's going to be like built into the walls is going to be like, you know, maybe like a habitation crew area, and then around the edge is going to be like a walking platform. Maybe a few different levels of that stuff, right? Like maybe like the lowest level is like the cargo, or maybe the highest level is the cargo, or maybe cargo's over there, maybe production's over there, and you know, like stuff like that. You know, like, and it's going to be in the walls. And then this pit is just going to be where the ships are built, right? So that there's going to be like a build and repair centered here for that. While we wait on that to process a little bit, shadows are a little weird right now. Let me just see if we can move that back a little bit. Okay. Curious how much we can get through, actually. How much does it take for one windmill? We need interior plates, motors. Construction components. Yep, always. Actually, instead of doing that, we're gonna just do a little fake tower. I have some plates. I'm not gonna be allowed to drill the red or that strip of gray at all. So that's not me trying to cheat with plates or whatever. That's just me showing on screen kind of what we're gonna do. Because I need construction components, girders, computers. Computers. See if this is enough. More girders by a lot. 18 or so? Yeah. Perfect. Look at that. We say, and we shall receive. The big question is, are we getting enough power or like maxing it out? I don't think so. How many blocks is maxed? Optimal wind clearance, output power. Total required negative 200 and something watts. Let's see. Battery fully recharged in 1 day. Okay, and if we change this to this battery, fully recharged in 2 hours, and this one. Okay, so yeah, so fully recharged in 2 hours of that power level. So I'm gonna look up real quick. We're gonna double check Chrome. Wind turbine space engineers. I could mess around and figure it out, but let's just look it up. I'm sure it's maximum possible power when weather is calm of 400 kilowatts. Oh. Height calculation. Height. Blocks. 0 is poor. 3 is good. 6 is optimal. 9 is max optimal. So this is in the valley. So higher altitudes mean you need more blocks. So 371 is, wow. Is this out of date? Place the block 6 plus high. Okay. So 6 plus, so 9 is the most. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we're actually as high as we can get. That's perfect then. Look at that. So any new people, this is not welded up, but it still works because I was 1 steel plate. These are fully welded, and again, I'm not using any of the plates in any of this because this was all creative, just added for showing. Okay, so that's the highest it can go. Let's see if we can add another. We need to give it some space, so we're actually gonna... I don't know what we're gonna do. Usually I'd make like a little tower power, but I think we're just gonna do straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And actually that's 1 more than 9 because it's the bottom plate is 1. So it doesn't matter about the height, like off the ground. It matters the height of blocks underneath. So it needs a specific number of blocks underneath. Let me make sure that we're still recording. We are. Good. I don't know what happened earlier. So I was talking to myself for like an hour, setting some of this stuff up. And yeah. I didn't realize. Oh man. Wind turbine. So we need, let's go to 8. Why is my scroll not? Okay, well. Need construction components, okay. And computers. Yeah, construction components. There we go. I just don't have space. There we are. Just don't hit these when I'm flying around, right? So they should give me maximum power. Just gonna weld it up all the way. Ooh, I'm glad I have extra health. So I gave all characters 300 health. Changed speeds, changed a lot of different things. So wait for this to heal me. All right, now we'll go back up. Just because I think there definitely should be more health. Mostly because Hydrogen Man doesn't work ever. No, it does, but I'm not a big Hydrogen Man person anyway. My whole point is that you walk into a turret and you immediately get shot and killed and don't even know what happened. Which kind of annoys me. So now, let's see how long it will take to fill the battery. Let's see how much they're actually producing. So this was producing 442. This is 408. I don't know why it's wind turbine 2 and 3. Probably because I placed one. Oh, because I placed one down on the ground earlier. Yeah, that solar panel isn't doing anything for me. Yeah, solar on the ground is worthless. Battery. Okay, fully recharged in 8 hours. This guy, fully recharged in 3. Recharge. Fully recharged in 7 minutes. Look at that change. And that's 11. Oh, that's because this one's depleting. Let's wait for this one to deplete. Okay. 43 minutes. So it's going to take 43 minutes for that guy to get fully charged. So yeah, so we now have some resources. Do we have enough for a basic refinery? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Concrete rubble to gravel. Yeah, that's not what I need. We need... Oh. Okay, let's put that back on our build planner. There's only a few things I have complaints about space engineers anymore, and one of them is it's like you have to do something, right? And I looked up like the automation, and it's like it's nearly the same as remote controls were. The big difference is that now you have to like set up a few different blocks, which then have more capabilities to then a few separate like add-ons, right? And once you do that, then you have your needed what am I trying to say? So then once you set up those blocks, then you have what you need. But the problem is, again, it's like it requires something to do something in Space Engineers every time, right? Like you're always like I can't just say it's on. Okay, I have it on my bar. I click here and then I have it in my inventory. I have to, I gotta go to build planner, then add it, then I can middle click and take stuff out automatically, right? Like you gotta set stuff up to then succeed, basically. It's not really a gripe. It's more just can get a little annoying sometimes, and I think that's one reason people sometimes are a little miffed with Space Engineers. Myself included a little bit. I don't know how to fix that stuff because it allows you to like make stuff very customized, but I think it's so customizable that it kind of gets lost in the weeds kind of deal. Okay. We're gonna go get more stone. The big thing that I wish that the blueprint system would allow you to save data more. It does allow you to save data, but think about it this way. I can't just, blueprint. I can't just drop down a ship that has all settings perfectly like they do, but for example, the toolbars, right? The toolbar at the bottom, they disappear unless the cockpit is available, right? Because you're setting it to that cockpit. you're not setting it to that ship, you're setting it to the cockpit. So like if you're in the middle of a battle, your ship gets, you know, wrecked or whatever, and your cockpit is lost, right? This guy's lost. Well, now all my settings at the bottom, all my settings down here, right, are lost. So then I build another cockpit, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, get back in the battle. Oh, now I gotta drag all the guns to my toolbar because it's, again, it's customized for that cockpit, because then you can have 7 cockpits and they all do different things, or 7 seats or whatever. Why am I like... Okay, that's not me. Okay. Instead of it being like extremely user-friendly and being like, well, this is set to this ship, and then, you know, now, so there should be a setting, I think, in the cockpit or whatever that's like, you know, set toolbar for this cockpit, right? That would solve the problem, right? And then this is a special cockpit or manual cockpit toolbars or something like that. That would set it to this one, and then if you build another one over here or whatever, you'd have different settings, right? I think that would be a super simple solution to that problem, for example. I just realized probably YouTube is making it really dark. Anyway, that's like one of the like examples. Blueprints can be a little weird. It's weird to like align them all the time. It's not, they don't necessarily work properly. And like the blueprint system is really nice because, again, you can customize it and do a lot of things with it. Problem is, like, let's say I want to blueprint a ship here, right? It's not going to act like that ship's completely separate until maybe I use like a merge block to separate it, or like cut it off or something. Then it's considered a different ship. But like if my blueprint is a different ship, maybe there's like a setting that they can make that's like, you know, when you go in the blueprint menu, what is that? Yeah, there you go. You can set like, yeah, okay, so here's an example. You can set like maybe like always make separate or something like that. Always make a ship, or like always separate entity or something like that. And then or like in the projector or something, because then when you're in that projector or whatever, you would just see that setting. And then when you start to blueprint it and you start to like paste it in the world, it would never attach to like another entity. And that's one of the problems we have, is that we have to come up with these special little ways for things to disconnect and whatever, or you have to do it manually, right? That's the big thing, is like I'm one person running around doing all these little fiddly tasks. Anyway, this is gonna get pretty complicated for people that don't even understand what Space Engineers is, so this is not meant to be like a tutorial series, I guess, but it's more just like a foray into vertical ships and yeah, most of the game settings, I guess, but like not necessarily a explainer. AI is definitely going to be something we tackle here for this playthrough. So there we go. We got a basic refinery. We're going to turn off. So the assembler has this button. That's what, the survival kit. It says use conveyor system. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to turn off production in that. And then the basic refinery. Stone. Oh, there's no more stone. Let's go get more. So we're going to turn that off charge. We're going to turn on inertial dampeners. We're going to proximity jump up. There we go. So like the other thing is, like if I turn off my inertial dampeners, like it's going to assume you want them off. You turn them off, you want them off. Remember to turn them back on if you want them, right? And I've had a dozen ship, like not even a dozen, probably 100 ships, or half 100 or something like that, that have been destroyed because I'm like, I have a vertical connection system. So I like, instead of being on the bottom and it's sitting down on the ground, the ship is connected through a connector on the top of the ship, and it's hanging from like a connector in a hangar bay or something, and I forget that inertial dampeners is off because I turn it off so that like the engines wouldn't fire, right? And why is it not still picking up? There we go. and I forget that it's not picking up, that it's flying, and I jump in the ship, I hit all the buttons that are correct, except inertial dampeners, or except my engines, or one of the two, right? And then the ship falls out of orbit, or it just falls off the connector. And then I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing? What happened? Oh my god, what did I do? And then boom, crash, destroyed. Yeah, sometimes I've saved myself with that, but that's why, like, most of the time it's better to have a connector on the bottom, because you'll just lay there. It'll just, like, sit there. Yeah, it can be a bit of a... Again, it would be good to be, like, maybe there's a reminder message that says, like, your dampeners are off, right? Or, again, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense, because... or maybe there's like instead of P being the automatic parking disc, or like, so if we jump on here, you can see on the bottom right down here, P is the disconnecting button for me, right? So there's a trope of like, don't hit P, don't ever hit P in Space Engineers, right? The reason for that is because if you hit P before, there's not this setting here. Let me show you. Under connectors, there's now used for parking. So this triggers the P button from the P button. So let's say you have 100 ships okay, not 100. Let's say you have half a dozen little miners attached to a mining barge or something like that, right? You're floating through space, and then you attach yourself to an asteroid, right? And you hit P to attach to the asteroid, because you're like landing gear attaching to the asteroid. Well, now all of the connectors that are used for parking, which before was not a setting, so it was just everything, would disconnect from the little ships. So all the mining ships would just float off into space while you're parking on the asteroid, because they disconnected, right? Like, that's what you wanted, right? Oh, those look like they're spinning really slowly. Okay, so I think clearance isn't good. That's probably why. I thought they were far enough away, but I guess not. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit just to make sure it's not too loud. Okay. So all your little mining ships float away into space, and you might not even notice, right? Now there's that button that you can turn off, but there used to not be that button. Now, if I were kind of devil's advocate here, is like, again, you need to remember that you turned off that setting, right? Like, that's a common, like, hey person, don't be an idiot, don't forget that you turned off the setting. My problem there is, of course, like, we can't remember everything. Again, everything is manual in this game. It's like the argument between Android and iPhone, or Windows and Mac, or whatever, right? It's it doesn't do anything for you, right? Like a Mac / iPhone does all the stuff for you. It sets everything up, and it assumes, oh, you want these types of photos. It assumes, you're going to use Wi-Fi messaging. It assumes, all these things for you, because, Apple wants you to use their stuff. But it assumes all that stuff for you, and you don't get a choice, really. Like, sometimes you get a choice, but you don't. Android is, hey, you know what you're doing, set everything up, right? Like, you're an intelligent human being, like, go ahead and set things up. Go ahead and customize things for the most part, right? Like, obviously there isn't in all cases, right? Like, you do have some help, but it usually assumes that you know what you're doing, and that if you turn a setting off, you want it off for the most part. It doesn't hold your hand. Let's see if that's faster. I think the storm is actually causing some of the slowness. Yeah, current wind speed. Okay. So same thing here, right? If I turn my inertial dampeners off, it's going to go, well, I'm not going to turn them back on for you, right? I'm not going to assume that's what you want, right? Like, or like, I'm not going to assume you want the survival kit to not suck up any of the resources for production. We're going to put them where we think you want them, right? which is good in a way, but it also, again, can cause those problems where, you know, your ship falls out of the sky, or you didn't realize something was turned off or on, or it didn't realize it, you turned off your thrusters and it doesn't turn them back on because maybe you have wheels on, so it's a rover, right? But you know, you're floating through space because you're a rover with wheels, or you have thrusters and wheels or something, right? It's not going to assume for you. You have to do everything. And part of the frustration there is, of course, the toolbars don't stay. So like, you crash part of your ship, your cockpit's broken. You now built a new cockpit technically, and so all your toolbars are gone. Yeah, it can just really suck the joy out of it sometimes. Yeah, those are just some examples of where this game kind of lacks and falls short. I mean, I've played, what is that other one, Empyrean or something like that? I've played a bunch of games that are similar to, let's see what the FPS is doing, similar to Space Engineers, and nothing really stacks up. Like, honestly, like there's not much that stacks up to this game when it comes to all the things you can do in it and how polished everything is. Like yeah, just everything kind of fits together. It's all cohesive. It looks good. Most things work together properly. It is really cohesive experience compared to a lot of those other games. But there are some things where it just doesn't hold your hand, and it's like, figure this out for yourself. Do this yourself. And if you set up a rotor and it's set up incorrectly, and you mess something up, well, that's your fault, right? Anyway, so yeah, so we now have full power coming in. Let's check our batteries. Fully recharge in 2 hours. I set it to recharge mode. It's going to be 7 minutes, but this one isn't charged. So same thing with batteries, right? Like you could turn like this one to discharge and then you completely forget sometime. And then, yeah, it's just, it doesn't give you a lot of, again, hand holding, right? Which I like and I hate sometimes. All right, let's go get a bunch more stone. We'll stop jibber jabbering here, gish galloping or whatever. If I had a collector, I could just like fly over, fly back, fly over, fly back, but I think we're just gonna collect a bunch. I don't know why, like, the thing doesn't move, but like we're moving through stones, so like obviously it should be. Whoa. Yeah, and it's like if I move up here, now it's collecting stone. This is a little weird. I don't know why that is. Like something's a little off there, which is why I didn't change any of the ore settings or the planet settings or whatever, because I was like, no, I don't want to deal with any of those problems. And I don't think there is a problem. I think it's just for some reason it's a little off. Inventory. No, it's not inventory. God, it's store cargo. That's what it's called. So many different games I've played. Ah, man. Okay. We're actually gonna go get iron. Now, I know that there's iron straight ahead of me. Mostly because of, detecting it that way, but also, is my light on? It is on. Wow. Okay. Mostly because I've already like done this a little bit on the other recording, which apparently wasn't recording. So I did fly over here and already try to collect some, but then I realized I'll just dig stone because that's all I had access to. In this case, we're gonna go get some iron right now. We're gonna dig straight down with a right click. All right, there we are. I did change the drill size to open a space 2 times its actual size. So that's one expanded setting that I did change. So we are actually like able to drill out more space with our drill head, and maybe that's part of the reason it's having a little bit of problems, but here we are. It is very dark. I think I set the nighttime to 3 hours. Can I turn off hints? There we go. Thank you. Don't hit the pillars. Don't hit the pillars. You have no idea how many times I've played this game, and in the beginning, like you just, or even like later on, you just like ram into some pillars sitting around somewhere, and it's just like, nope, that's just normal space engineers. You just completely forget or don't see them. There we go. Now we can take it off again. We don't have a lot of power. We only have 15 minutes of full blast power, which is not good. Not good at all. This thing is actually one of the smallest ships I've ever built, especially weight-wise. But I think the saddle is kind of the real reason that I was able to do that. I don't have any access to my blueprints, otherwise I'd show some of those. Which is one thing I'm trying to restore. I'm trying to restore my blueprints. First I gotta find them and then restore them, but... Yeah. Oh, that one was quick, see? That's how it should go. Let's try to get out of here without exploding, please. That would be very nice. Alright. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. That's what happens. You get lagged, and then you're like, oh, crap, now I'm crashing into my base or something. Because I have a giant, you know, a ship full of cargo. Ooh. 9 minutes. Not a lot of time. Alright, turn that stuff off. Let's see. So ship, not empty. Cargo. There we go. Alright, so I think we have a good amount of resources for it to kind of process. We can probably build more wind turbines if we wanted to. I don't think we will, but we could. Yeah, we won't right now. I don't want to dig into the ground or anything other than in this hole. Other than over in mine areas and stuff too. So what I think having the wind turbines up here is probably an okay idea. Like above the surface, right? So maybe this is like where the control center is. That could be cool because then you could have like strips of glass that are like viewing the stars and the other planet and the sun and all that. That'd be kind of cool. And this is kind of already where my control center is for now, I guess. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we're gonna let that kind of go after that stuff. It's gonna take a while for that basic refinery to go through that. Maybe not too awfully long, but... So from here, the big thing is gonna be... we're gonna have to collect resources, collect more cargo, collect better refineries, better assemblers. Did I have... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do I have progression on? I do. Okay, good. I was gonna say, I better have progression on. I like progression. It does, you know, take more time and all that, but oh well. It's not hard to do progression, that's the thing. I guess people could say, well, it's not hard to build, like, a basic little standing base on a planet. And I'm like, yeah, but I've done it 1,000 times. And yeah, I've done progression 1,000 times, but... Listen, I'm just arguing with myself at this point. I think it's gonna be... It needs iron, so... isn't it? Ah, it's full of stone. That's why. Yeah, it's just full of junk. If you ever see your refineries or assemblers not doing something, but there's stuff in the system, it's probably full of junk, which is a good reason to have like a collector or a conveyor joint or whatever pushing out so that it automatically pulls everything out of the refinery. My worry there is that it's doing it too quickly, so it finds something in here, it's trying to process it, but it can't, so it just shoves it out. You can't do it quick enough, you know, type deal. Alright, yep, don't have enough resources for it yet. I did the basic refinery. I'm doing all this by hand. Usually I have build and repair do this stuff, but I don't have that yet. Build and repair is also much more expensive with the mod that I added. It costs lots of superconductors, I think. I think. So I might have to find an asteroid for that first anyway. Grid automation, interesting. Industrial. Where was the... I guess not. Automations. There we go. Signs. I like this. It's kind of cool. Alright, what am I looking for? I'm looking for... Not Wasteland. Huh. Where are the modded... Huh. Maybe I have to research it first? Let's check that while we're on stream here. Workshop. Let's see if it's updated. I think that's probably going to be the problem. Whoa. Okay, that's amazing. It's very similar to something I was going to think about building. Maybe not walking, but oh my god, I just want to get that blueprint. We're just going to look at that later. That's awesome. I just you know, anything else unblocked light inventory manage? Yeah. All right. What is it? It is this one. 2021. Let's see if I know we're doing a bit of a Windows scavenge now, but let's just see. Yeah, I don't see a nanobots build and repair file in the save. So I'm wondering if it's not there. Because under other saves, it will be there. So I'm wondering if we need to add the default mod and not use that one. Whoa, 2021. Oh yeah, this is the one that I use. Okay. I'll have to make sure that that mod works because it's not seeming to be loaded. We know expanded settings is working. Oh well. Okay, we'll look at that later. That's not a big deal right now. Let's grab all components successfully withdrawn. Go. Build our basic assembler. Totally doesn't take forever. Not at all. All right. Now we're going to turn the survival kit to not use the conveyor system. And we're going to pull everything out of the survival kit. It doesn't use it automatically, but we use it manually, so that's good. Survival kit, turn that off. Good. Awesome. All right, and then we're going to turn, just make sure, yep, can't do anything else. We're good. Can I do upgraded? It requires cobalt. I do upgraded drill. That's funny. Okay, let's go sit down. See if we can find some cobalt around us by using our ore detector. I did increase the ore detector range. I think it's by like 5 or something. Cobalt. Is that behind us? Yeah, behind us and to the left. So often Calypso quadrangle. If anybody gets that reference, I'm going to be very surprised. There we go. See? Just like not setting things properly the first time. Obviously, I could have done it correctly, but, you know. Okay. How far do we need to go? I don't think we need to go that far. It's at 600, right? And my base is currently 300. I'm worried about the ground. Oh, goodness. Getting very low to the ground and very scared about ramming this thing into it. Okay. Cobalt. More iron deposit. That's great. Go, white speck on the ground. Try not to go down too fast. And there we go. Nice blue of cobalt. Oh. And there we go. That's all. That's all it takes, at least for this little hummingbird. Yeah, I'm calling this a hummingbird for sure because it interacts like a hummingbird. It can only survive for a few minutes without, you know, um, not getting recharged. It can only pick up a very small amount. It kind of looks pointy like a hummingbird. Yeah. I guess we could do like a shrew, or what's the shrew that's like lives for like, I don't know, like its heart rate is so fast that it can only live for a few like hours without eating food or something. Like it needs to eat like every day. It needs to eat like its body weight and yeah. Anyway, we will skip that conversation. We now have cobalt, which will show up in our basic refinery. Yep. Go. We have some cobalt. We have. Let's turn off the big ore detector just because I don't want to see it on the ship all the time. I'm gonna turn off our building zone GPS. I do like how it has like little screen now. Interesting. I wonder how we can change that, or like if different things give different ones. Oh. Huh. So we do current position, it gives a little screen picture. So that's like an emoji. Let's see if it comes up with anything in Chrome. Oh, I don't want to show that on stream. let me open my Opera gaming browser. Oh. Yeah, doesn't have anything. Okay, well. Oh, you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's do Red Heart. Copy. Oh, damn it. Smiley face? Uh, I don't know, just a normal. Can I just have a normal one? I guess grinning face. Nope. That's funny that the first one did like the little wrong code question marks. Interesting. I wonder if there's a change somewhere I can find to like, now we have ability to use certain types of emojis or emoticons or something like that. That's interesting. That's definitely new in automation of some kind. Um, Maybe automation or one of the recent patches. Whatever. We're still recording. Yes, we are. Good. Okay, so I don't know what happened. We're gonna close Emojipedia real quick. There we go. I don't know what happened last time, but I guess it's working now. This is 45 minutes. I think we're gonna cut this episode short. I'm gonna do. Let me just check. Not short, but cut it soon. I think I'm gonna let that chew through that stuff on its own, and then we'll start again when that is done. Yeah, so well, thank you for coming back, everyone. I know it's been kind of a rough few months, in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna stop jumping around and just look at the planet now. But hopefully we'll have a good, interesting new Pertam series coming. I'll see you later.